Hi everyone, welcome to Light Paths. I'm Lourdes. I hope you're all doing great wherever you are in the world. And today I wanted to talk to you about change. I often say my name should be change. Actually, my middle name. My middle name should be change, transformation, and challenge. And I want to share a little bit with you with my own personal experiences, of course. And with this, I set the intention that it gives you encouragement and resilience to keep moving forward with your life in a positive way. So change, what is change? Change happens all the time. Change is about cycles of life. Change, now you have them in very small increments, medium increments, or massive increments. And I define it in a few different ways. Change could be a new beginning. It could be unexpected. It could be full with uncertainty. It could be anything, you name it. I just want to give an example about change when it's in small increments. So, you know how every day in our lives we have a routine going on, right? For some, this would be very monotonous. For others, they are more spontaneous. And all of that is a choice. I mean, I know that when we go to bed, we have to sleep, and then we get up, and then we take a shower. There are things that we just have to do, right? And that is a routine. And now, well, the moment you add something a little different to your routine, it's a new choice. So that creates change. Either you notice this or not. For example, if every morning I wake up, I start meditating, then I take a shower, then I eat breakfast, and then I go to work. Okay, but then I decide instead of before taking a shower, I meditate, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do a little yoga, I'm gonna challenge myself and try a little yoga. And then I'm gonna have breakfast or take a shower before. Just the fact that you're adding something new or you are doing one of your tasks in that specific order, but you change the order of things, you're also creating change. And now that happens all the time. And why is change necessary? For me, I personally think that change is necessary because, like anything in life, life is about cycles. So we are constantly doing the same thing in the same way. It becomes a monotony, and then it's unhealthy sometimes. And we are to challenge ourselves sometimes, especially if we are feeling bored. If we're feeling bored, that means that something needs to change. So you need to create something new. You need to bring that newness into your life. And you have to invite it. And for that to happen, it will not happen if you're sitting down, crossing your arms and legs and see what happens. Then you are making the decision to stay the same, right? So there is no challenge to it. But the moment you get up and start doing research and start moving, that's change. You are already making a decision to make things a little different. Even if it's a tiny step in massive steps you are creating, and we create it all the time. Now, there are some unexpected changes that's of course out of our control, and there's nothing we can do about it. For example, you are making your taxes, you're filing your taxes, and I'll give a personal example. I have an accountant that does my taxes every year now, and I was expected to receive money, and so the unexpected happened. So I got a surprise notice from the government saying I have to pay, and I consider it significant amount of money. Actually, that was so not my plan and so not comfortable. And so how is that a change, you think? Well, the money that I had that was for something else had to be used instead to pay the government. And that was a choice. I made the choice to pay them. Well, I could have chosen not to, but then I don't want problems with the government, right? I think nobody wants, so that's fine. I mean, that happens, right? And a lot of unexpected things. You get surprises also, like it could be the government, it could be your insurance company suddenly sending you a check that you had no idea was going to come, but it suddenly just appeared. And so that money can help you do things that you probably were restricting yourself because you didn't know what to do, and like you're creating something. That's change. And it happens all the time. I mean, honestly, I personally tell myself that my middle name should be Change, Challenge, and Transformation, because I've always been challenged, and we are. Sometimes it's not always obvious, but sometimes it's very obvious, and you just have to be like, okay, am I ready for this? Not always. We're not always ready for a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we're still learning in the process. And the thing with constant change is that we need to learn to flow with the way the situations unfold, the way things come. It's not always easy. It's very uncomfortable. I understand that. I wanna I'm talking to you because I want you to know that I understand you. I have been there, and I am there all the time. Okay, I get it. Change is not always pleasant. Change is sometimes painful. Okay, sometimes, not always. But you know what I've discovered that happens once I'm in the middle of the process of change is that there's a beautiful room for discovery for yourself and everything else around you, and it's a great opportunity to learn, to become a better person, and to help others if you want to, if you choose to do so, of course. So change is necessary because it breaks you out of your comfort zone, whatever it is that you're used to doing all the time in the same way, and repetitive and repetitive and repetitive, when there's no excitement whatsoever. Sometimes that tells you, hey, you could really get better. You could really have a better life. You could even discover this. Have you ever considered, no, I'm okay here, I don't want to leave? Then you're getting more painful situations. So for example, a classic example for where change could be applied, and it's not necessarily always done, anyone who is in a very toxic relationship where there is no respect, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of violence even, and some people choose to stay in that situation. Why? There are many different reasons, and I don't judge anyone. That's a choice as well. It is a choice. You choose to stay in that relationship, or you can choose to work towards betterment if there is a possibility for rescuing it, or you can just leave the relationship as well. With every single action, there will always be a consequence. And that is something that we have to become aware. No matter what we do, your actions have consequences. So it's the way it is, and we shouldn't be afraid of doing that. We need to trust that we're doing the right thing, especially if it's gonna bring your peace of mind, if it's gonna bring more balance to your life and more stability and more happiness as a result. Then why not taking the chance? Or unless you like being miserable and unhappy and be beaten up and whatnot, that's another choice, right? Well, the example is very simple. A couple, and it could be married, anyone. Let's say me. I am in a relationship with someone that is abusive, and our relationship is a disaster. We keep disrespecting each other, but we're still together, eh? And we're still going like that, and it's always a mess. And then one day, you have to be honest with yourself. Very honest. And sometimes it's not always easy to be honest, I find, because we're so used to the certain ways, because I guess sometimes, some might like to be comforted and provided for, and I mean, he brings money, he brings food at home, I'm not working, for example. It could be many different reasons. It could be I don't want to be alone and I'm going to stay there because I don't know what else to do, because I haven't explored yet, right? So that what happens. You one day, if you're honest with yourself, am I happy? You will just know, no, I'm not. So then you can decide, okay, so what can I do? Is this really gonna work out? You will know by talking to the person and see if you both are on the same page or not, right? Or you can just decide to leave and seek for help. That's also okay. But then the decision you make will impact your life tremendously. And you have to become aware of that. We cannot blame others for the decisions that we make, and that's another thing. It's like, yeah, but she told me. She told you. I mean, if you ask for help and some people tell you what to do, ideally, we don't want to tell anyone what to do because the decision should be yours. We can give advice. That's great. I can give you advice. Look, are you happy? No. Well, then you can consider this, but there might be other choices that you can see and the other person might not, right? The point is that whatever you do, you have to make a decision that feels right for you and then keep moving forward with it. And for everything in life is always like that. And I know it's not always nice, especially because as human beings, we like to control everything. We want to know it all. We want to know the future. We want to know if this is going to be good, if buying this house is going to be a good investment for me, if buying this trip is going to bring me the dream life that I want, or we want to know it all. Let's just admit it. We have always been like this. We're always curious by nature. And since the beginning of history, we've always wanted to know it all and control everything. Now, of course, we need to be careful with that, of course. By becoming aware of what is it I'm trying to control here, all of the decisions I make have to make me feel at ease and happy, and I'll give you examples of change. That's a massive change that I did back in 2010, and it connects to this place here is in the t-shirt, Ireland. I have been living in Canada for 15 years, 16 years away from home. I am from Peru originally, as some of you already know. And well, in the year 2010, I was super excited. I had got my Canadian citizenship and I wanted to go on a trip with my sister. My sister lives in Spain, so I said, I'm gonna book this flight. I'm gonna go to Europe and travel with her, blah, blah, blah. Great, I was working. I had a very comfortable job. It was a good job back then. And I decided to book the flights and everything happened. And then like 3 weeks before that book flight, and my plan was originally to just go for 2 weeks on vacation and then come back.